Where do I get all my research for the shares that I'm looking to buy? After all, wouldn't it be handy if there was just one place where all that financial data can be found? And that it was easy to see, easy to read, packed with lots of information like directors' purchases, balance sheets, profit and loss accounts, all that kind of thing. Well, now you can in the form of a company called Stockopedia, and in this video I give you my opinion as to whether it's worth it. I'm Anthony, and as always, we're talking money. Okay, first off, I'm not getting paid a penny for this review. I don't work for Stockopedia at all, but if you did want to sign up to Stockopedia, I do have a link in the description below. Right then, let's get straight into it. Beforehand, one of the main problems we had as investors was to find all the relevant information that we needed in order to make informed, rational decisions before we spent our hard-earned cash on an investment. Back in the day, I used to subscribe to an excellent company called Company Refs, created by the late Jim Slater. It was a bit clunky, but it was great in that you could sift through all the shares by the criteria that you wanted to search by, say looking only for companies with a price-earnings ratio of less than 15 or companies of a certain size. Sadly, they no longer exist online, so I was forced to look for alternatives and then came across a company called Stockopedia. Because I was already with the Company Refs platform, I was delighted to see that Stockopedia did a similar thing, but to be honest, they do so much more, and in a very readable format. To me, here are the main things that Stockopedia excel at. The whole market, you can choose between whether you want to concentrate on, say, America, UK, Europe, Asia, etc. The whole market is searchable by a seemingly infinite number of variables. If you want companies that have market sizes of less than $1 billion, have growth rates of 20% year on year, have net debt of less than X or returns on equity more than Y, you can just enter the requirements and in less than a second you get your list. Now, if all that seems too much hassle, then Stockopedia seem to have an answer there too. They've divided investing into 7 simple strategies, namely growth shares, value shares, quality shares, bargain, income, and short selling. If all these terms seem confusing, then clear explanations are given for each. However, what I really find beneficial is that under each of these categories, you have several experts that have put those search criteria in for you. So to give you an example, I particularly like growth shares, and since I have a preference to Jim Slater's Company Refs in the past, his criteria are already preloaded. Just click on his section and boom, you've got all the shares listed that meet those criteria. If you want to investigate a share further, you just click on the share and you get a full set of details. Also, just in case you want to know how successful or unsuccessful that strategy is, you get the last 5 years' performance. The platform also allows you to get notified if a share is promoted or demoted from a particular guru screen. And of course, if you want to make up your own criteria, then you can do that as well. The other thing that I really like is that it has its own ranking system for every share based upon a composite of value, quality, and momentum criteria. You can see how each of these values are calculated, but essentially each share is given a number or rank, so you can quickly compare shares, and in this case you can see a record of how successful these shares have been, in this case over the last 7 years. Now, to give a balance to this review, rather than just singing its praises unreservedly, the service is terrific, but it does cost. I pay an annual subscription of £245 a year, which works out to be a whisker over £20 a month. You can pay monthly if you prefer, or biannually, and the prices will change accordingly. Also, if you want more areas, say the UK and also American shares, you pay an additional £130. If you wanted all European shares, then that will cost an additional £180. You can of course have access to all the areas, but personally I just stick to the UK shares. The platform excels in analysing shares, but it also covers funds as well. But for me, in less detail, because shares are my main focus of investment, this doesn't really bother me that much. But if you are looking for in-depth analysis on these other asset classes, then Stockopedia may not be for you, but have a look for yourself and see what you think. They do offer a free trial, by the way, so you can try before you buy. The other thing that I need to point out is that to the inexperienced, the very first impression will be, where on earth do I start? There is so much information on this platform. My recommendation is to start with the guru screens that have a sensible number of shares listed in them, say over 10, and have a read why these particular experts are experts in their field. I would recommend you give short selling a miss, as this strategy is particularly difficult to enact in practice. Fortunately, there is a large glossary of terms that will explain those expressions that just don't make sense to start with. Also, they have live webcams that are also excellent. The other slight problem that platforms like Stockopedia can lead to is paralysis by analysis. So much information can be overwhelming and lead you to overthink things. You could be like a rabbit in the headlights. But persevere and remember, there is a forum and a chat facility where you can ask anything, and people are generally very helpful because they want to help. I use the site as a learning platform because it doesn't matter how experienced you are, a novice or someone with a 40-year experience in investment. No one knows it all, and we can always learn something new. Anyway, those are my impressions of Stockopedia. They are my go-to company that I use when I'm researching for new purchases. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, click the subscribe button and the little notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm Anthony, and as always, we're talking money.